Hello again, everybody. It's Bony Tony here, and I'm here today to talk about beer. Any beer is available, it's fine, but I'm just talking about beer generally. So I think it's the best invention ever, much better than the wheel, because wheels don't go uphill, don't do they, unless there's something to pull them uphill. So whereas beer is miraculous for the reasons I'm going to explain. Now, before beer, not many people know this, came the beer glass. There's the beer glass, but the beer glass was sadly useless, was it not? Until the invention of the beer that was meant to go in it. This particular beer glass is from Tirana, Albania. Yes, but this beer was invented many, many centuries later after the beer glass, and finally the beer glass had something to go in it. So let's just kind of celebrate that as something that mankind did not have for many, many millennia, and that is the ability to pour beer into the beer glass until relatively recently in human history. So here we go. The beer goes in the beer glass. You can imagine the celebrations when the first beer was finally available after many centuries of having the beer glass. And so, here's to you. Now, why is beer so miraculous? Well, because it goes in and then it goes in and then it goes in and then some of it comes out again and more goes in. It's like, I don't know, the post office queue or something like that, except that there's less waiting and less frustration. So it goes in the stomach. Imagine, for instance, if this was milk or Coca-Cola, it would just kind of, and then the stomach would become full, and yes, you'd have to go to the toilet and so on. But with beer, the stomach never seems to get full unless you make the mistake of eating. Anyway, so the cost of beer is another factor. It's not expensive at all compared to vodka or stuff like that. And as I say, it just kind of it just goes through you. It comes out. More goes in. More goes out. More goes in. In out. In out. Shake it all about, except be careful not to shake this about because it'll go all over your computer keyboard. That's happened to me in the past. Actually, what happened was I got a mouthful of beer. I wasn't at work. I was just typing away, like doing this is a Dara O'Brien explanation of what I'm talking about through acting. I was typing away, like this, like you use your fingers to type. It's not enough for me to say I was typing away. I was typing away. And I had a gulp of beer, but I didn't swallow it for ages. It might have been wine actually, but I think it was beer. And I snoze. I could feel the build up of the sneeze coming on, and then it just went whoosh. And I thought I could keep my lips together when I snoze. I thought I could go, but unfortunately I went. And it went all over the keyboard, and that was my own laptop, and I've not had one since. That's because I've not stopped drinking beer. No, it's because I just didn't really need one. We've all got smartphones now, haven't we? Although mine's fairly thick, but no, my phone is quite old and needs renewal. I've just got an old-fashioned smartphone, the sort of smartphone that cavemen used to use. Say no more. Right. Anyway, now, although it's a miracle that beer kind of, you drink beer, you get drunk, it goes out, you put more in, a bit like a car, there's another analogy, it's a bit like a car, you put petrol in, you drive, it starts to run low on fuel, you put more in, it carries on going. Anyway, that's pretty much like a human being with beer. Hang on, excuse me. Supposing you're busy doing something and you're drinking your beer and you need to go to the you-know-what, but you can't because take the example of Beethoven. He used to be composing his, he might be been drinking tea, but let's suppose it was beer because it's more fun that way and fits in more with this theme of beer, not tea. So let's suppose Beethoven was drinking beer as he was composing the fifth piano concerto. That's not the fifth symphony. On the piano, and he had a bucket underneath his piano so he could go for a wee and then just carry on. That's your dedicated beer drinker for you. Or you could wear a nappy, of course. A couple of problems with this aspect of beer drinking, despite the fact that it is miraculous. It assumes you can go and urinate at will, but sometimes you can't because of either a football match or at a concert, e.g. Glastonbury. Suppose you've spent days, you've spent hundreds on your ticket, you've got there early, you've got your tent in a good spot. You rush to the front of that pyramid stage. You need a wee because you've been consuming beer for hours and hours. Yes, what do you do? If you're a girl, you wear a dress, nice demure dress, and you just wee on the spot. Nobody's any the wiser. If you're a guy, you take a plastic beer glass or a bottle, and you fill it, and then you chuck the contents over everybody in front of you. It's great. Now, some say the best ale is real ale. But so I would agree with that. Avoid fake ale. You know, it's like, you know, fake news. Well, fake ale is the thing to avoid. Yes, you don't want fake ale. You don't. Yeah, some people prefer ale as a kind of beer to lager, which is seen as more fizzy and sort of just generally fruity and fizzy, not proper beer. Although you can have fruity beer, you can have chocolate beer, you can have all kinds of beer. But I find ale can give you nasty blotches. And it's very fattening as well. So trying to avoid the old beer belly here. But you can offset the effects of beer on the belly by eating less and doing more exercise. So there you go. You could do 50 press-ups and have someone hold your glass for you while you're doing it. There you go. And then, after 25 press-ups, you could stick one hand up. This is a good exercise. Keep one hand on the mat. Stick one hand up. Your mate gives you your beer. You drink the beer like this, balancing on one hand, and you put the other hand back, and then you collapse. Right. And I would recommend, lots of walking while you're drinking or after you've been drinking. Again, not too much driving and avoid that beer belly. But if you do develop a beer belly, it can be useful to open doors without using your hands. When you're carrying 2 pints, supposing you're carrying 2 pints, you get served 2 points, as they say in Birmingham. 2 points for the Luxembourg in Troy. Anyway, you've got 2 pints in your hand, and you just shove the door open with your beer, with your belly. But the only problem is, if you're in the toilet, most toilet doors you have to pull them towards you, don't you? So that doesn't really work, does it? But anyway, I'm working on that theory. So football has helped beer sales enormously, hasn't it? And as I say, you can dispose of it by chucking it on the heads of the people in front of you, especially if they're supporters of, whoever England are playing, like Wales or Iran. Yes, they might not get so much beer normally, so they'd probably be grateful for beer-flavoured urine on their heads, perhaps. Perhaps not. I'm not going to do it, and I don't recommend anyone else does it either. Yes, and this year the World Cup is in Qatar, which was organised by Sepp Blatter, who, funnily enough, talking about beer and the fact that football is inextricably linked with beer, including at the World Cup, even in Qatar, a non-alcoholic country. Who organised it there? It was Sepp Blatter. Blatter is very similar to bladder. Bladder is what is very busy when you drink beer. Yeah, so it's all connected, you see, it's all connected. So that's about all I have to say. Apart from many people don't drink beer because they get hangovers. Well, I don't get hangovers. But if you do, in the morning, try, apart from water, take paracetamol or other painkillers. You have juice, eggs, bacon, maybe something like that. If you're vegetarian, Linda McCartney bacon. And it kind of, it's salty and fruity stuff, I think, seems to do the trick. I think that's about all I've got to say. So I'll just finish this off. But before I do, and while I'm drinking it, consider pressing the subscribe button. Have you considered pressing the subscribe button. Have you pressed the subscribe button? Well, bloody press it then. Right. Okay, that's all from Bony Tony on the subject of beer. I'll be back with another subject at another time of my choosing. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.